All right, y'all. We back with another reaction right here on ABP Reactions, and we're gonna take it back in the day, man, with R. Kelly and the sex tape that exposed him as a pedo. So let's see, man, what was going on? What was it like back then? A lot of y'all was too young. I was younger. Let's see.
On June 5, 2002, R. Kelly was arrested and charged with some alarming crimes involving a young girl who happened to be his goddaughter. While his fans didn't want to believe the allegations, Kelly made it extremely difficult to deny them as he decided to film the incident. He thought it would be a great idea to make a home video of his disgusting crimes. Unfortunately for Kelly, this video didn't stay in his private collections, as the videotape of Kelly's horrific crimes ended up being stolen and spread around. Kelly was caught on camera, and he was going to have to face these allegations in court. But even with this videotape and mountains of evidence proving he did it, Kelly walked out of the court a free man.
Crazy, right? The man was literally on camera doing it and still beat the case, man. Literally on camera.
Being acquitted of all charges. Still to this day, many people can't believe they let Kelly get away with it with all that undeniable evidence. Being one of the most obvious times the law worked to protect the criminal instead of taking them down. A trend we have seen repeatedly over the years since R. Kelly. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. Today we will be looking at the time the law protected the worst of all monsters, R. Kelly, and let him do his crimes for another 20 years.
Man, that's crazy.
Let's get right into it. In the 2000s, R. Kelly was one of the biggest R&B artists in the world. Fresh off the smash hit Ignition and running the industry for years, he was at the top of his career. But when Kelly least expected it, his world would be turned upside down. He became the center of a horrifying scandal, which changed his career forever. The story of R. Kelly's legal troubles go back to 1997, when he met Roshana Landfair, who was 12 or 13 years old at the time.
Oh, they put a face to it. I never knew who the girl was. Okay, all right.
Landfair was introduced to Kelly by her aunt, the singer Sparkle, who was a protege of Kelly's and was working on her own debut album at the time.
I'm gonna be updating y'all for y'all who too young to know, but Sparkle was R. Kelly's artist. She had a fire banger. She had a couple bangers, and she was featured on R. Kelly hot songs back in the day. So this is crazy. They got a whole documentary that's similar to like the Diddy documentary that's out right now. They came out with a documentary about R. Kelly, and that's really why he's in jail, because that documentary made everything come together. They put everything together as one, and they came and got that nigga. So, yeah, let's see what this Diddy documentary gonna do to him.
Sparkle asked Landfair's parents to bring her to the studio so Kelly could hear her rap, hoping he would help her music career. After Kelly met Roshana, he started spending plenty of time with her, with Roshana calling their time together grooming sessions. Eventually, Kelly was offered to become Roshana's godfather by her aunt Sparkles. Kelly accepted the offer and used this as an opportunity to take advantage of Roshana. As soon as he took on the role, he started his inappropriate relationship with her. Between 1998 and 2000, Kelly did horrible things to his goddaughter. In at least one of those instances, he decided he would record it for God knows what reason. After making the video, Kelly kept it right in his collections of home videos. It doesn't seem like he tried to hide his extremely incriminating tape at all, as out of nowhere, the tape would be stolen from his home by a disgruntled employee. This person then made copies of the tape and leaked it. Eventually, the tape was floating around the internet and even made his way to the streets.
This is what I'm saying. People was selling this shit, y'all. Literally selling R. Kelly having sex with a minor, and people was buying that shit. It was one of the hottest fucking DVD tapes in the streets, man. Everybody was buying that shit. It was like, what the fuck?
His bootleggers were selling Kelly's tape alongside the latest blockbuster movie. The tape of Kelly was spreading like wildfire, and it wouldn't be long before the tape landed in the hands of the media. In 2002, someone working in the Chicago Sun-Times mailroom opened up an envelope that was sent to the news station anonymously through FedEx. The envelope was addressed to a reporter named Jim DeRogatis. Inside the envelope was an unmarked tape, and when those at the news stations played the tape, they saw the biggest R&B singer in the world bumping and grinding with his own teenage goddaughter. This tape was exactly what Jim was waiting for, as he had been trying to expose Kelly for months now, previously reporting on other allegations made against Kelly with young girls. Now, out of nowhere, the undeniable proof he needed to bring Kelly down landed on his lap. According to the news, the over 27-minute-long videotape seemed to show R. Kelly engaging in sex acts with the young girl, with one part of the video showing Kelly going number one on the victim, to say it lightly.
Well, thank you. On Wednesday, a shocking development.
When he say going number one, he was peeing on a girl. A golden shower. He was peeing on the minor, man. Freaky, doing some freaky deaky, out of pocket, disgusting shit. You know what I mean? And this is R. Kelly, man. At this time, R. Kelly is on fire. Like, he's the hottest nigga. You know, I'm sure y'all know who R. Kelly is if y'all watching. He's the hottest nigga. Back-to-back hits, his own hits. He's writing everybody hits. He going crazy right now, man. And yeah, this was bad. But this is a case of money talks, bullshit walks. Because the man is on camera, but he still beat the goddamn case. Clear as day, that was him.
Police arrested a popular singer on charges. NBC's Jim Avila has the details.
The hottest rhythm and blues singer in America, R. Kelly, the man Vibe magazine called the new millennium Marvin Gaye, now in handcuffs, arrested in Florida and charged in Chicago with 21 heinous crimes against an underage girl.
Kelly, do you have anything to say?
Right now, guys. The key evidence, say police, a videotape made by the singer himself.
FBI forensics experts from Quantico have closely examined the tape. They tell us it's authentic.
Police say the 40-minute tape, which first surfaced 5 months ago, was recorded inside Kelly's house on this Chicago street.
Crazy.
He has since moved to this suburban mansion. The video already screened by the grand jury that returned a 3-page indictment accusing Kelly of, among other things, soliciting, taping, and performing acts with a 18-year-old.
Truly disgusting and deplorable behavior, and it seemed this was going to be the beginning of the end. Not long after the news station received the tape, they turned it into the authorities. And on February 8th, the Sun-Times reported the horrific news about Kelly. This led to the police revealing they were investigating him. When the news broke, the world couldn't believe the allegations against him, at least those who hadn't already seen the tape. All eyes were on Kelly, and people wanted answers. Even though the tape was a bestseller for bootleggers, and the media had already seen it as well, Kelly denied everything.
Okay, just to give y'all some context, why this shit was so shocking back then, this is the number one nigga making the hottest sex records for the sexy and grown women. Meaning you got all these bad bitches, older bitches at your disposal. So no one in their right mind would ever think that someone who got that much clout, that many bitches on you, would ever stoop as low to mess with a minor. You got every bad bitch in the world at your disposal. You're the number one R&B nigga. You making sex me, 12 play, I don't see nothing wrong, bump and grind. You making all these hot records that bitches are making love to and fucking to, and then you go fuck with a minor, bro? Like, what? Blew it. Terrible.
To his representatives, he suggested he was the victim of a smear campaign by individuals with personal agendas who sought out to damage his career. During a local TV interview, he dismissed the accusations as crap before his performance at the Winter Olympics opening ceremony. While Kelly kept on denying any involvement in any crimes, it did little to help him with the law. In June 2002, a grand jury in Cook County, Illinois, returned an indictment against R. Kelly on 21 counts of CP. After the indictment was confirmed, Kelly agreed to turn himself in to the Chicago Police Department. But instead, he ended up in Florida. This led to Chicago police placing the arrest warrant in a national crime database. While Kelly was chilling in his vacation home in Davenport, Florida, out of nowhere, the authorities showed up at his front door. They presented him with a warrant and arrested him on the spot. While they were at his home, they searched his property only to find more evidence of his crimes, seizing a digital camera that allegedly contained additional images of him with a young girl.
Come on, man. God damn it. See, I didn't know this part. I didn't know they found more tapes. God damn. So for those who was like, no, it's not him. It was somebody that looked like him. It was his brother. It was that. They found more tapes. He had a collection. Sicko. What the fuck? What? I don't listen, man. The nigga keeping a collection of tapes with him and with a minor, that shit is crazy. Like all them little sickos, them pedos that be keeping tapes and keeping pictures and like, what the fuck is wrong with you niggas? That shit is disgusting, bro. But they did say in that documentary that R. Kelly used to hang outside of high schools while he's popping. He's an older man. He's popping on the radio. He's popping on TV. They said he used to be in his Jeep with his homeboys waiting outside the high schools for girls. Now, listen, we come from a time when older niggas used to date. That was our generation. Like, when I was in high school, it was older niggas like 26 coming to pick up the baddest bitch at our school. 11th grade, 10th grade. She won't fuck with nobody at the school because she got a boyfriend with a car. And he'll be pulling up 24 years old, 26 years old. And that shit was common. If you from my era, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Nigga, I was common as a bitch. And we used to be hot like, damn, man, I need to get me a car. She only fuck with niggas with cars. This bitch is in 10th grade, 11th grade. And she only fuck with niggas that got cars and then older niggas and shit. That shit was crazy.
Leading to 12 more counts of CP being filed in Florida. Kelly was then extradited from Florida to Chicago to face his charges. When he faced the judge, he denied all the charges, posting $750,000 bail, leading to his release the very next day after his arrest. Now, after the indictment in 2002, Kelly was set to start trial months later. But for many strange reasons, the start of the trial was delayed for 6 years, pushing the trial start date to May 2008. The case experienced multiple delays for several years following his indictment in June 2002. The reason for the delay included the preceding judge injuring himself, a prosecutor having a baby, and R. Kelly missing a scheduled court appearance because his tour bus was stopped for speeding in Utah. On top of this, Kelly's lawyer found every possible way to postpone the trial as long as possible. Eventually, 6 years went by, and when the trial was finally set to start, many thought Kelly was truly cooked. But even though there was so much evidence, like a literal tape that he made himself, Kelly still had the support of his fans. They showed up to the trial and declared Kelly an innocent man. They called the tape fake and an extortion attempt, a tape that the prosecution had formed their entire case around, and they were confident would sink Kelly. When the trial started, the prosecution's main argument was that R. Kelly had sex with his own goddaughter when she was not legally old enough and produced a video recording of the incident. During the trial, the prosecution showed the full 27-minute tape to the jury. Although the videotape was mailed to them anonymously, they cited several reasons why they believe Kelly was the individual in the tape. First, they proved that the tape wasn't a fake. They brought in an FBI forensic expert who verified the authenticity of the tape, dismissing the defense claim that the video could have been faked or heavily altered. After proving the tape was in fact real, they presented their evidence on why the man in the tape was in fact R. Kelly. In the video, the man seen committing the crime had a mole on his back that was visible in the video. The prosecution brought in a forensic expert to testify that a dark spot visible on the man's lower back in the video was in the exact same position and about the same size as the mole on R. Kelly's back, which was confirmed by photographs taken after his arrest. On top of this, the prosecution brought in a retired Chicago police detective who testified that the location where the video was filmed matched R. Kelly's home in Chicago. He pointed out that R. Kelly had a log cabin themed room that matches the scenery that's seen in the video. The prosecution also pointed out that during the video, the man literally asked the girl in the video how old she was, where she told him her age.
Do you like teenage girls?
When you say teenage, how old are we talking?
Golly, R. Kelly.
The prosecution also tried to establish a pattern of behavior, showing that R. Kelly had done this to others, like when he groomed and ended up marrying Aaliyah when she was still a teen. But unfortunately for the prosecution, the judge didn't allow that as evidence.
And that is confirmed right there. They got nigga family members, mom, dad, everybody confirmed that he married and dated Aaliyah when she was a minor. This before the tape. He had an infatuation with the young girls. I mean, listen, man. This is a different time, though, y'all. Like, the cancel culture shit, all that wasn't around. It wasn't a big thing. Like, it was a lot of motherfuckers in the music business making songs about it. If you go listen to some of them songs from the 90s, you will hear it. They was saying some wild shit about young girls.
The main problem the prosecution had was identifying the victim, who was only referred to as Jane Doe at the time that we now know as Roshana Landfair. Landfair not only refused to testify, but she went as far as denying it was even her in the video. This led to the prosecution accusing the victim and her family of being paid off in order to protect Kelly. But even without being able to introduce a pattern of behavior or identify the victim, the prosecution still felt they had a strong case as they had him dead to rights in a full-on video. They likely thought that there was no way they were going to lose this case. Kelly was mainly represented by the attorney Edward Genson, who was known as the Dean of Chicago's criminal defense attorneys. Named.
Do y'all think R. Kelly paid them off? Because it's like evident that that's who it is, that's the girl. But then the trial started 8 years later. That's a long time. That's almost a decade. You know, they could have been older and going broke. And they like, shit, fuck that. Then we'll take the money. We'll take some hush-hush money, a one-time payment, or, hey, just make sure every month you pay this. You know how these motherfuckers, like, they be setting up wild shit. Because I want to react to the video of the girl from Chicago that got found in the freezer. And they said her mom took a payoff. I don't know how true that is. That's why I want to find a video about that. But people be taking payoffs, man. People be taking payoffs, allegedly.
The go-to lawyer in town by Chicago Magazine. Jensen approached the trial with a minimalist approach. His defense argument was pretty much R. Kelly didn't do it. He argued that the tape was a fake, even though the FBI confirmed it was real. He argued that the man in the video couldn't be R. Kelly because Kelly had a mole on his back and the guy in the video did not, even though the prosecution had already confirmed that the man in the video did in fact have a mole in the same spot as Kelly. The defense argued that the alleged victim and her family were motivated by money, noting they hired a lawyer rather than going to the police, despite her having an aunt that was a police officer. They also challenged the prosecution's ability to definitively prove that the girl in the tape was in fact a minor. At the end of it all, although the prosecution had this very incriminating video of what seemed to be R. Kelly doing this crime, the jury will still find him not guilty on all counts after less than 1 day of deliberation. The main reason for the acquittal was the victim's refusal to testify at the time and the fact that she had previously denied to a grand jury that it was her in the video. Just like that, Kelly walked right out of court a free man.
I get it. So she didn't come forward. She denied that being her. So therefore, that definitely fucks up the case. They're like, what the fuck? The girl that we are saying is her is saying it's not her, and I'm not taking a stand. So now what? Who is the girl then? That's what I would like the jurors. Who is the girl then? Y'all can't confirm nothing. Y'all can't prove nothing. Y'all can't prove. But you know, money talk, bullshit walks, y'all.
As he walked out the court, he was greeted by his screaming fans who celebrated his victory. He successfully managed to beat the case and was vindicated by the courts. Although they presented video evidence and it all pointed to Kelly being guilty, the courts declared him innocent. After the trial was over, Kelly didn't waste no time, using all the media attention the trial had gotten him to further boost his career. He continued to tour and record new music. His career thrived, and he released several hits during this period, selling millions of albums and packing concert venues. It seemed like the man had put those allegations behind him and was back on top. But while Kelly was under the impression he had won and had put it all behind him, fast forward a few years later to 2017, and that illusion quickly faded. See, while Kelly was able to convince the courts and some of his fans that he was an innocent man, there was still one man who wasn't buying it. The one person who started this off, who had been trying to expose Kelly for almost 20 years now.
Damn. He on your ass. He like, nigga, I'm gonna get this nigga. It's only a matter of time before a predator strikes again. You're a predator, nigga. That urge doesn't leave you. You can hide it. You can try to dodge it for a little bit, but I'm going to stay on your ass because a predator, you're going to get that urge again. So he waited. He waited patiently, 20 years. 20 years, and he struck again, and he was right there when he struck to expose his ass. God damn, what the fuck?
The reporter Jim DeRogatis. After Jim exposed him back in the 2000s, he never stopped trying to bring him down. As in 2017, months before the rise of the Me Too movement, Jim dropped a new investigative report about R. Kelly, this time for BuzzFeed. The article included accusations that R. Kelly had now set up his own ex-cult, with accusations from 3 sets of parents who claimed the singer was holding their daughters in an abusive, controlling environment. The report alleged that Kelly controlled every aspect of the women's lives, including what they ate, how they dressed, and when they bathed. It was also alleged that the girls were required to call Kelly daddy. These allegations exploded in the media and sparked a renewed wave wave of public outrage and activism, including the launch of the Mute R. Kelly movement. This Mute R. Kelly movement would eventually cause the downfall of R. Kelly as we know it. After the Mute R. Kelly movement started trending, it wasn't long till it all finally caught up with him. On January 2019, the nail in the coffin for R. Kelly had been hammered in, when the documentary Surviving R. Kelly was released on Lifetime. The documentary revealed a pattern of predatory behavior by Kelly dating back to the 1990s.
Hey, y'all know what's crazy about when this dropped, 2019, Surviving R. Kelly? It was such a big thing. And this is only, what, 5-6 years ago? It was such a big thing that everybody was throwing, like, watch parties at their house. People was coming together for the debut of this. Shit, I know, because I did one. I did one with the homies and the homegirls, girl. We did a watch party. People was doing that. Like, we finna throw a watch party, like the Love Island shit people was doing, watch parties recently. Coming together deep and watching this shit. And this shit was exposing the fuck out of this nigga. It's similar to this Diddy one. If y'all haven't seen the Diddy one, go watch it on Netflix. It's the people who all got these cases against them, the witnesses, people who was close, coming together and putting the connection to the stories that people have heard. Eyewitness stories. Like, yeah, I seen it. This is what happened. It was me, or it was my sister, or I was his homeboy. I was right there. And it's like, damn, nigga, where smoke is fire. It's like all these people coming together. This shit gotta be, some of this shit gotta be true. I ain't saying all of it, majority of it.
Including his illegal marriage to Aaliyah in 1994. In the documentary, survivors detail how Kelly used his fame and wealth to groom victims, often promising to help their music careers. He would then allegedly isolate them from their families, confiscate their phones, and enforce strict cult-like rules in his home and studios. A major focus of the documentary was how the music industry, fans, and various enablers allowed Kelly's alleged abuse to continue for over 25 years without serious legal or professional consequences, despite numerous lawsuits and the infamous 2008 CP trial in which he was acquitted. The documentary was critically acclaimed and had a significant real-world impact, leading to renewed public reckoning and accelerating criminal investigations that ultimately resulted in R. Kelly's conviction and imprisonment. Immediately after the documentary, the public sought out to put pressure on companies like Spotify, Apple Music, and Ticketmaster to stop working with Kelly, leading to canceled concerts and Kelly being dropped by RCA Records. Around this time, Kelly showed up to do an interview with Gayle King, where he tried to declare his innocence while crying like a baby. At one point during the conversation, he stood up and started yelling, telling Gayle King, "I'm fighting for my effing life," while visibly crying and hitting his chest.
They put a cold push. I've never seen, as far as with my own eyes, like people put such a cold movement on canceling somebody's music. This is probably the first time I can remember when I was like, damn, like it was, you better not, nigga, whisper R. Kelly's name. You better not play his song on the radio. You better not play in the club. You better not play in the car. And the only other person I saw them attempt to do that to, that I can recall as of recently, was Tory Lanez. They tried to like do that with Tory Lanez, where they was trying to cancel him. But Tory Lanez is nowhere near as big as what R. Kelly is. Like R. Kelly, this is what, a 30-year run? R. Kelly been doing this shit 25, 30 years? It's like, this nigga's a megastar as far as in the R&B world. And getting all those records canceled, I'm talking about hits, major hits, getting them canceled, that shit was crazy. And, you know, to this day, I'm starting to see people now are like, fuck it, man, I'm playing R. Kelly. Even though they were still playing it when everybody was saying it was canceled. Now people are back being open about playing it. And they like, man, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. And, you know.
I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years of my fam.
Robert.
30 years.
Robert.
Y'all trying to kill me.
I ain't never hog tied nobody.
You're killing me, man. This is not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it.
Boy, niggas love to bring up them kids when they in trouble. Y'all taking me away from my kids? Nah, you fucking nasty pervert.
During the interview, he also called his accusers liars and claimed he was being assassinated. But this did nothing to help him. His record label dropping him quickly became the least of his worries. As on February 22, 2019, Kelly was arrested by Chicago police on 10 counts of aggravated criminal SA related to 4 victims, 3 of whom were way too young at the time.
Got him.
Kelly would go on to turn himself in.
You're
and
out of
was
here,
released
buddy.
on bail after a few days. The initial arrest will start a sequence of arrests as on March 6, 2019, he was taken back into custody for failing to pay over $160,000 in child support he owed to his ex-wife. He was released a few days later when an anonymous person paid the full amount, which led to his third and
Who do y'all think paid? Let me get some answers right now. Who do y'all think paid the $160,000 child support?
final arrest on July 11, 2019, with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Illinois unsealed a 13-count indictment, including CP and obstruction of justice charges. A separate federal indictment for racketeering, kidnapping, and S-trafficking was also filed in the Eastern District of New York. After his arrest, R. Kelly faced 2 federal criminal trials, one in New York in 2021 and another in Chicago in 2022. Kelly was facing life in prison in the New York federal case and another 15 years for the CP case out of Chicago. When the trial finally started, the prosecution went in guns blazing, using RICO charges to present a wide-ranging case, arguing that Kelly ran a criminal enterprise with his entourage to recruit and exploit women and young girls over the span of decades.
Oh yeah, they was grabbing up bodyguards, everybody, nigga. They've been doing that a lot when they use the labels and shit. If an artist has a label, he in trouble, they're gonna put it as a RICO and say your label is a criminal enterprise. They did that with Cash Out. Y'all know Cash Out in Atlanta? They took his mama, they took the receptionist, they took the artist, they took everybody. Niggas said you niggas is a criminal enterprise. They did it with shit. Y'all seen that with everybody. With Diddy, Big U, everybody, nigga. Whatever your company is, they work for you, they a part of it, nigga.
This approach allowed them to introduce evidence of uncharged bad acts and a pattern of behavior stretching back to the 1990s, including his illegal marriage to Aaliyah. Unlike the last trial, this time the prosecution had a lineup of witnesses and victims eager to testify. Numerous victims and former associates told their stories, describing a world of physical and emotional abuse. Witnesses described being forced to follow Kelly's rules, call him daddy, and being punished for disobedience, sometimes through violence or degrading acts. A central part of the case revolved around the same evidence from Kelly's 2008 trial, the 27-minute videotape from the early 2000s that showed Kelly essaying and going #1 on his own goddaughter. But unlike his 2008 state trial, where he was acquitted because the victim did not testify, the woman, who was now an adult, testified at this trial, identifying herself as the person in the video and detailing how Kelly coerced her into lying to a grand jury years.
Whoa. So the girl in the video came forward. This is me, and this is what he did, y'all. Got him.
Earlier. For her testimony, Landfair was spared of prison time for lying to the courts the first time around. Just like the last time, the defense's argument was the exact same. R. Kelly didn't do it. Kelly's lawyer portrayed the accusers as groupies or superfans seeking revenge or financial gain and argued that the relationship were all consensual. The defense chose not to call Kelly to testify for obvious reasons. But when the trial was over, so was Kelly's freedom, as both trials ended in his conviction and led to a combined sentence of 31 years in prison. After over 25 years of taking advantage of young girls and destroying the lives of so many people, he was finally put exactly where he deserved to be since he was arrested in 2002, which is where I find the problem with all of this. While yes, R. Kelly is now in prison, in reality, he should have been there since 2002, when he was arrested for producing CP with his own goddaughter.
That nigga was able to dodge that bullet for 20 years, bro. 20 years. This tape was viral. It was sold on the streets. Everybody knew about it. Industry knew about it. Other artists knew about it. Producers knew about it. The label execs knew about it. And what's crazier, they probably seen it, all these motherfuckers. But guess what? Did it stop them from fucking with R. Kelly? No. Did it stop them from doing business with R. Kelly? No. Did people care? No. Clearly, if you dodged this bullet for 20 years, nobody cared. And that's what's crazy, bro. That's what's crazy. That was a wild time. But it came back in the end, bit him in the ass.
The same exact evidence they would end up using in the last trial that ended up resulting in his arrest. But for some reason, it seemed like the courts, the record label, and even his fans refused to put R. Kelly away back in the 2000s. Think about it. If they would have successfully convicted him, then so many other young girls would have not been victimized by him. I honestly believe that R. Kelly was protected back in his 2008 trial. He was still a top-selling artist for RCA Records and was a cash cow for them. So I believe they likely did everything in their power to make that problem go away for Kelly. They protected their investment, using their powerful connections to get Kelly out of his jam. I also have to call out his fans too, as they helped paint this image that R. Kelly was innocent, even though that tape clearly showed them as the monster he is. The music industry
Facts, the tape did, and the fans was rolling.
Fans and the courts allowed Kelly to keep doing what he was doing, allowing him to literally re-offend God knows how many times. By the time he was finally arrested, he had formed a full-on ex-cult, taking advantage of so many young girls. And the sad part of all of this is that the only reason he ended up behind bars was because of the Mute R. Kelly movement trending. It literally took a documentary and a full-on mass movement from the public to get R. Kelly arrested, even though the courts and the music industry already knew he was guilty. I also find it quite interesting that the record labels dropped Kelly this time before the trial started. They did this because they were in the middle of the Me Too movement, and they would look like monsters if they continued to protect Kelly like they did in the 2000s.
That's a fact. That Me Too movement was cleaning the house. That shit was cleaning the house. Me Too movement exposed how many weirdos and sickos was in the business and the stories of what they were doing. A lot of sickos. This has been going, I just let you know, this has been going on. So these people who wasn't tripping, they wasn't tripping for a reason because they're sickos too. They wasn't tripping. They like, hey, shit, can you put me on? Can you hook me up with her cousin? Sickos, bro.
So they dropped them, and this time, without their help, the trial ended completely different than the last time. Clearly, everyone turned a blind eye when it came to R. Kelly's crimes in the 90s and 2000s. But because he was printing money for RCA, he was allowed to continue to destroy countless lives. This exact situation continues to happen in the industry. We literally just saw it go down with Diddy. Nobody believed any of the victims who exposed Diddy until he was arrested. Just like Kelly, the signs were there early, but they protected Diddy because he was an asset to the industry. We as the people have to stand up for what is right. We must never cover up for monsters because we love their music and are fans of them. R. Kelly is the perfect example of what kind of monster you can create by doing this. One that ends up destroying the lives of countless young girls for over 20 years. Well, I'm...
All right. There we have it. There we have it. That is the story of the R. Kelly sex tape that came out and how it came back to, take him down. He beat the case and it came back to take him down. My take on that, it ain't about the tape that came back to take him down. He wasn't making the labels money no more, man. They protected him at the time when he was the hottest, when he was the breadwinner, like they do for everybody else. When you're the breadwinner, you're hot, they're going to protect you. They protected Diddy because he was a breadwinner. They protected R. Kelly because he was a breadwinner. And now you're not the breadwinner no more, bro. And hell, shit, you were going broke. You were broke. You wasn't making the labels no money, and you were broke. So you couldn't buy the best lawyers. You couldn't afford the best lawyers no more. And it's a different time where now everything is, they got evidence. They got people coming forward. Now people have a voice. The people who were shunned before and probably you would never hear their voices or see their faces, social media changed all that, man. So, let me know, y'all, in the comment section if he got what he deserved, y'all, if he got his just due. Should he get life? Because he didn't get life. And I think he in New York, but he got to face something in Chicago when he get out. But he got like 35 years or some shit like that. Like, it'll be a while. He probably won't even make it. I don't know. He's old, man. So, I don't know. We'll see. Let me know what y'all think, though. I'm going to give y'all 2 seconds to smash the like. And as always, get ready for the next reaction.